It's 3:15 a.m., October 26th, 1942. We're on a hilltop in Guadalcanal, and absolute hell is breaking loose. Picture this. On one side, you've got practically the entire Japanese army. On the other, you've got one guy, a 24-year-old Marine named Mitchell Paige. Every guy in his unit, left, right, center, is either dead or bleeding out. It's just him and his M1917 machine gun. It's pitch black out there, and all he can hear are enemy screams and footsteps getting louder. They're maybe 40 feet away, hell, maybe 30. The mission was simple: protect Henderson Field. If the Japanese take that airstrip, America is basically done in this war. Paige's machine gun barrel is glowing red hot. He's got about 30 seconds before the thing explodes or melts. His ammo is running on fumes, and hundreds of soldiers are closing in on him. Death is staring him right in the face. But what happens next? It literally changed history. This is one of those World War II stories that people still talk about. Let's back up a second to June 1942. The Japanese army grabbed Guadalcanal to build an airfield. Now, this place was a nightmare. Thick jungle, big mosquitoes, and one bite meant you were getting malaria. Everyone was sick. No clean water, barely any food, and the constant fear of death. By August, American Marines managed to seize that airfield and renamed it Henderson Field. Fast forward to September, and the 7th Marine Regiment hits the beach. Among them is this young kid, Mitchell Paige. Their job? Hold that airfield no matter what. October 24th comes around. American intel picks up chatter on the radio. They'd been grilling captured prisoners, and the bottom line was this: the enemy was gearing up for a massive all-out attack in the next 48 hours. So, the Mitchell's 2nd Battalion gets deployed to guard this ridge in the southern sector. Company H gets stuck with a 300-yard stretch of the front line. On paper, they should have had over 240 guys, but between the malaria and the battle wounds, they were down to just 90 Marines. 90 dudes tasked with stopping an entire army. One of them was Platoon Sergeant Mitchell Paige. He sets up on the left with 4 machine guns spaced out about 30 or 40 yards with his squads. Paige is manning the 2nd gun with Corporal Anthony Malinowski and PFC Leland Diamond. They tuck their gun behind a little mound, great for cover but terrible for visibility. They could only see about 50 yards before the jungle just turned into a black wall. October 25th afternoon. The Marines knew it was coming. They dug in deeper, cleared out the brush to get better firing lanes, and stacked up ammo boxes. They laid out 3,000 rounds per gun. Since these machine guns heat up like crazy, they filled 5-gallon water cans to keep them cool and kept spare barrels ready. You could feel the tension in the air, the calm before the storm. 7 p.m. Sun goes down, jungle goes black. Everyone is at their position, waiting. 9 p.m. Suddenly, American artillery lights up the sky, hammering the south where the Japanese forces were massing. Then, at 2:10 in the morning, mortars, Japanese mortars, start dropping straight out of the sky. For 2 minutes, the ridge just gets pounded. Dirt, rocks, smoke everywhere. Then, silence. The sound that messes with every soldier's head. Voices, screaming, shouting. It's a classic tactic. Scream your head off to keep your guys together in the dark and scare the living hell out of the enemy. It sounded like demons howling out there. Paige couldn't see a thing. It was so dark you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, but he could hear them getting closer. 2:12 a.m. The attack kicks off. The whole company line explodes, rifles cracking, machine guns roaring. Paige is firing blindly at spots he marked during the day. About 20 yards out, the first wave goes down. They couldn't push forward. Paige takes a breath. Gun is hot, but holding. Crew is okay. He thinks maybe that's it. Maybe they'll back off. But at 2:25 a.m., they come again. But this time, there are hundreds of them. From the sound of it, 300 or 400 soldiers charging at once, climbing over their own dead to get to the Marines.
Keep moving! We need to reach
The machine gun on Paige's left goes silent. Screams, explosions, then nothing. Those guys were gone. But before the enemy can grab that gun, Paige grabs the silent gun, fires a burst to cut down the attackers, and tricks them into thinking the position is still manned. By 2:40 a.m., the gun on his right goes quiet too. That crew is wiped out. Paige realizes if he stays in one spot, he's a sitting duck. So he makes this insane decision. He's gonna do the job of the entire platoon by himself. He sprints to the right gun, fires, runs back to his gun, fires, sprints to the left gun, fires. In the pouring rain and mud, under constant fire, he's running between guns like a madman. The Japanese commanders are totally confused. They think the whole Marine line is fighting back. In reality, it's just one guy racing death. But just then, Paige narrowly survives a grenade. He rushes straight back to his machine gun, right where his injured buddies are pinned down. Then a bullet hits his position. Corporal Malinowski, his assistant gunner, goes down instantly. Diamond, feeding the ammo, catches grenade shrapnel in his shoulder and leg. He's bleeding out, groaning in pain. But the tough son of a gun keeps handing Paige ammo belts. 2:45 a.m. The fourth machine gun stops firing. All 4 guns are silent now, except for whichever one Paige happens to be holding. His barrel is way past the danger zone. Steam is hissing out of the water jacket. Paige knows if he keeps going, the barrel warps. The gun jams, and it's game over. He stops firing. Huge risk. He pops the receiver. Barrel is glowing red. Yanks it out, tosses it, and slams in a fresh one. It took him 35 seconds. In combat, 35 seconds is a lifetime. In that time, Japanese soldiers closed to within 5 yards. 5 yards. Paige hammers the trigger. Fresh barrel, gun running smooth. He's fighting point blank now. 3 a.m. Diamond yells over the noise. "Sergeant, we got less than 500 rounds." At the rate he's firing, that's a minute of fighting, tops. Paige tells him, "Keep those belts ready." He leaves his position and crawls through the mud toward the silent post on his left, praying the enemy isn't already sitting there. He slithers like a snake, gets there, and finds his guys are dead. But the ammo is still there. He grabs 2 cans, 250 rounds each, and crawls back, occasionally firing his pistol just to keep the enemy guessing. It took 5 minutes, but he got the ammo. He gets back on the main gun. 3:10 a.m. The third wave hits. This time they focus everything on Paige. They get within 3 yards, close enough to touch. Paige unloads straight into the crowd, stacking bodies until the survivors turn and run. 3:45 a.m. Suddenly, there's movement in the bushes. He swings the gun around, finger on the trigger, 1 second away from firing. Then a voice cuts through in English. "Hold fire! Marines!" It was 8 guys, and these weren't commandos. They were cooks, water carriers, signalmen. The major grabbed whoever he could find. A sergeant grabs Paige's shoulder and says, "We hold this line. At dawn, we counterattack." Paige looks at his gun, still hot. Diamond is sitting there drenched in blood. Paige takes a deep breath and says, "I'm ready." 4:30 a.m. The sky starts turning gray. Dawn is breaking. As the light comes up and the fog lifts, Paige finally sees what he's been fighting all night. The ground isn't dirt-colored anymore. It's dark red. Bodies are piled up like haystacks. 5 a.m. Captain Lewis Walt walks out of the mist, looks at the broken line, and points.
We need that ridge back. Now!
Paige looks at his M1917 Browning. This gun sits on a tripod and weighs 60 pounds. It's water-cooled, and that water is boiling. The manual says, never take it off the tripod. That morning, Paige ripped up the manual. He pulls the tripod pin, lifts that 60-pound iron beast with his bare hands. The barrel is so hot it would fry skin on contact, so he wraps his jacket sleeve around it. He turns to the others and roars,
Fix bayonets! Follow me!
and then he charges, straight at the enemy, firing from the hip. Every shot kicks through his whole body. Hot water is splashing his face, burning his skin, but he doesn't even stop. Picture this. The Japanese soldiers hiding in the bushes see this crazy American charging them solo through the fog, just spraying his machine gun. They were absolutely terrified. They legitimately thought he was some kind of bulletproof demon. 30 yards, 50, 75. He mowed down anyone in his way until the jungle went quiet. He drops the smoking gun. Sun is fully up now.
Over here, check this one.
90 Marines went into battle. 14 killed. 24 wounded so bad they couldn't move. Paige's platoon was devastated. Out of 33, only a handful made it. But Paige? Just some burns on his hands. In front of his gun alone, they found 110 enemy soldiers. In the whole battle, over 2,000 Japanese soldiers. 2 days later, his captain wrote a recommendation that sounded like a miracle. Kept fighting after entire platoon killed, lifted a burning machine gun with bare hands, and led the counterattack. In May 1943, Paige received the Medal of Honor. He went on to fight in Okinawa, rose to the rank of colonel, and passed away in 2003. Mitchell Paige never called that medal his. Whenever he met people, he'd touch the medal, voice cracking, and say,
"This isn't mine. I'm just the caretaker. It belongs to those 33 brothers."
To Anthony Malinowski, to Leland Diamond, to everyone who didn't see the sunrise.
That machine gun he held? It's still sitting in the Marine Corps Museum in Virginia, silent, right next to his medal. If that story gave you chills, drop a salute in the comments below. For more incredible true stories from history, hit subscribe and smash that bell icon. Catch you in the next one.